Hey Wet J fans, just wanted to do a quick review of the Focus Dynamic Razor. So I got this a few days back and shaved with it a few different times, so I wanted to give a quick rundown on what I found with it. So the first thing is that the razor itself, for anybody who doesn't know, hasn't seen it, is a single edge pivoting head razor that uses half DE blades. So you can either break the blades in half, which is what I do, that way I can use my favorite blades, or you can actually buy half blades that they make for barbers. Although I typically haven't found that I really like any of those blades, but that's just me, personal preference. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the just fit and finish of this razor. So the Focus Dynamic is a razor imported from Italy. And I'll put a link to, I think it's Superior yeah, something like that. Superior Shaves that has them, brought them over. And so it's a very kind of cool looking razor, I think. It's solid aluminum. Everything's aluminum. So the handle is a solid bar of aluminum that's been machined and has some nice ergonomics to it. So it was started out as a round stock. If you look at the base, you can see. And then they flattened out two of the sides on opposite sides, but they left just enough down here at the bottom that if you needed to hold it by the very bottom, like you're shaving your legs, you can do that. It also has this kind of Lincoln log style notch. Move that back so it's easier to focus. So this little Lincoln log style notch, which is absolutely perfect for that kind of a hold. And then on the back here, up where your thumbs would go, either left or right-handed, they have these scallops cut out. And that's perfect, I find, because I put my thumb right there as I'm shaving with this razor. Or if I'm doing the other side, I roll it over and my finger ends up going there. So very ergonomically nice. I did not have any trouble with it slipping or anything like that. And so the idea with this razor is you'll see that there's this flat surface here. So once you get a blade loaded in, then you put that flat surface and touch that to your face. So this whole surface glides against your face, and that gives you the perfect angle for your cut, for your shave. So, and I was able to get under my nose, all that kind of stuff. The blade loading is a little obviously different than a standard DE. So what you do is you slide that over. There's it's got a keyhole and post. So there's the keyholes, and then the posts in the top plate. So the top plate posts go in there, and then you just slide it over and it locks it in place. And while it does that, it really locks it in place, especially with the blade in there. So if you are like me and you're breaking a blade in half, you always end up with where you bent it, those blades that kind of curl just at the very part that it breaks. So that when you're loading it, you just push the two notches up against the posts with that curl facing down. And then when you put your top cap on, or your base plate on, and smush it down, it flattens out that curl and locks into place, no problem. So no troubles there. I did shave with it a couple times, and the first time I shaved with it, really made hamburger of my face. And the reason was because this was advertised as a pivoting head razor. However, I didn't pay attention when I first started. I was just excited to shave. But if you notice, you've got this flat surface here, right? This bevel that you put against your face. So if you put that against your face, you'll notice that the top of this bevel is perfectly in line with the center of that pin that it rotates around. So what that means is that no matter how much pressure you put on that bevel in the proper direction, it will not pivot. Right? You have to have pressure above that pivot point just standard physics and leverage. So yeah, trying to get it to pivot when I did that first shave really made it dig in, because what I had to do in order to get it to pivot was basically rock it back and push it into my face. So it was actually raising that the blade away from my face in order to pivot, and then pushing it in, which made the skin kind of bunch up in front of the edge. And yeah, it was weepers everywhere. So that was definitely a problem. I'll try to keep my foot off the camera. That was definitely a problem. That other part is that I believe that this spring is a hair too strong. So I think even if you were to bring that up, that would probably be a little too much spring, a little too hard to get it to pivot. It needs a slightly weaker spring, I think. So I'm contemplating 3D printing an attachment up here that would continue along that bevel and give me a pivot point. So I'd run the whole thing on my face to see if maybe I could do something like that. And I'm not sure exactly how I'd get it to stick other than epoxy, which I probably don't want to do. So I may contemplate it, or I may just sell it. Who knows? But yeah, so for me, this razor, even though it is beautiful, oh, and I should mention, I went back a second shave and I just pretended that it didn't pivot, right? And so I just shaved it like I normally would with a razor that doesn't pivot. And I was able to get a decent shave out of it. So, I mean, it's not like it's a complete loss. But, you know, I bought it with the idea of a pivoting head in mind. And so, yeah, I'm a little disappointed that that pivoting head mechanism is just not right. And so hopefully the company will get some feedback and fix that and come out with a new version with a head where the bevel goes up past and gives you plenty of leverage to actually use it as a pivoting head. That would be pretty cool. But as it sits, it's not the right razor for me. So just my quick 2 cents, my review of the Focus Dynamic, the Italian single edge razor. Have a great day and an awesome shave.